Hello and welcome to the second of my shows, which is going to be a series of shows which hopefully will help you to never have to work again. I know that sounds quite unusual, and you're thinking, where's the catch? There is no catch. This service is absolutely free and will continue to be free forevermore, as I see it. Um, no hidden charges, absolutely nothing. You just press the button, and if you listen to my tips, which here we go, here's the controversial part, I can tell you are coming direct from a huge love Christian related energy source. The proof, as they say, is going to be in the pudding. So let's see what happens to all the selections that I give you. In fact, let's take a look at the first three horses that I gave you in my very first show on Friday evening. Well, they all won. My top bet, and these are all small bets, as I need to get a balance between the energy love that I'm getting from Christian God and because we're dealing with something quite unusual here. We're dealing with gambling. But I'm going to talk about that, how that's perfectly acceptable as we go in the long run. In fact, you're going to get a lot of spiritual stuff coming here, which we haven't seen for 2,000 years. And the more the winners come, then I'll go into that because obviously the credibility factor is going to be much higher. Now, I've already got the credibility factor, of course, with football. I am the reigning Sun Fantasy Football Dream Team champion, 2 million entrants. I'm a previous winner of the Daily Mirror Manager of the Month, and I'm also winner of the Daily Mirror World Cup competition back in 2010. And in fact, I am the only person, I have to say this as humbly as possible because this is about giving love. So I do not want this to come across in the wrong way. So I'll say this only once. I'm the only person actually who holds at any stage those three titles. No one has ever won the Sun Fantasy Football 2 million entrants, the Daily Mirror 80,000 entrants, and the Daily Mirror World Cup. I'm not sure how many entrants there were on that. So without further ado, let's look at those three horses and then the three horses which I fancy more strongly for today. The three horses I gave you on Saturday, the first three were my top horse was Le Bague Au Noir, the French trained bred horse, you may remember. Well, that led from start to finish, around about 4 minutes to go around in a circle, jump a few hurdles, was never seriously threatened, and actually won at precisely the price that I said he would be, which was 5 to 4. The official distance was 4 or 5 lengths, I think, but he could have won by any amount really. Thistle Crack, of course, I gave you. It wasn't a betting proposition, but it is a betting proposition for the Gold Cup in March, and I will talk about that on a future show. And the first winner at Doncaster was 3 to 1, melodramatic. I gave you that as well. Now, not to hide anything, I did also give you a loser. That was In the Rough, but I did say I only have a £5 each way on that. And if you went by my stakes, which were £100 win on the Bague Au Noir and £5 or £10 each way on In the Rough, and similar stakes to the other horses, obviously you're going to make a clear profit on those stakes to around about £100. Briefly looking at two football sections I gave you, unfortunately Olivier Giroud didn't actually start the game, so that bet was void. And Manchester City did win. They did not keep a clean sheet, but that wasn't a bet. And they got 2 goals, so just one short of the one I thought they might get the 3. So I'll be focusing with a small eye. That's very important because otherwise we're going down the ego path. Another thing I'm going to go into at a later date. The 3 horses today are medium bets, so that's actually stronger than even my top tip on Friday. So I'm going to go straight into those 3 horses, and I'm not going to talk about so much about the form of these horses or anything because this is about the energy source that I get. And all these horses, obviously prices are subject to change, but they all started at around about the even money mark. I don't know when this is actually going to be edited in time because it does actually get edited in a different country to where I am. This is my home here in Southeast Asia, and this is what I want everyone to be able to do. And we can change the world by doing this because you don't have to get up in the morning to work for that boss that you don't like in that cold, horrible winter morning, as it possibly is now in England. You can live like this, as I have, as a professional gambler for 80 years, without ever having to work for anyone you don't want to work with. When I was doing a part-time job and I didn't like the boss, I just left. was a bit sad, but that was the situation. And it's a case of tuning into God, not drinking alcohol, and you'll be surprised how that will totally change your life. If you want to live your life without having to work for anyone, stop drinking alcohol, listen to my service, feel God, and that's all you have to do. Straight in them with those 3 horses. And the first one I'm going to give you is running at Newcastle, and he's never even raced before, but I'm just getting a huge energy source from this horse. And he is number 3 on the race card. Just checking the race card very quickly as I speak. I believe he's number 3. Yes, he is. And the horse is called Gymnast, and he runs in the second race of the day at Newcastle, the 150, trained by John Gosden, word God in there, which is quite interesting, and ridden by Robert Havlin, who's actually the cousin of a friend of mine I used to do quizzes with in Thailand. A little bit of incidental there for you. What you need to know is I'm getting a lot of strong energy on this horse, so therefore I expect Gymnast to win the 150 at Newcastle. The only one that really concerns me is Dubai Dunes, but obviously if the energy source is strong enough, then it's a question of fulfilling what is pretty much a destiny. And that's something I'm going to be looking at later. Remember, it's a free service. You never have to pay anything. So that's the first horse. The second horse runs in the very first race at Plumpton is the 1255, and is a horse called River Frost. And the third horse is in the next race at Plumpton, and it's a horse trained by Nicky Henderson, and his name is Top Notch. So those are my 3 horses then. Top Notch in the 125 on the card at Plumpton, River Frost in the 1255 on the card at Plumpton, and Gymnast in the 150 on the card at Newcastle. Obviously the prices might well change because people like me get money on early, and so the bookmakers start to panic and they cut the prices. But hopefully these horses will all be around even money by the time you get this video. And my recommendation is a bet called a Patents, which is a combination of a single on each horse, a double on each horse, and a treble on each horse. So that's 7 bets effectively. Level stake. If you did £10 Patent, for example, that's £70 in total. You have a £10 single bet on each of those 3 horses. You have a £10 double on the first horse at Plumpton, River Frost, with Top Notch, the second horse at Plumpton. Then you have a £10 double with Gymnast and River Frost, and then you have a £10 double with Gymnast and Top Notch. And finally, you have a £10 treble on the 3. And if they all do 3 win, like I'm hoping the strong energy source is telling me, from the Christian energy source, just like Jurgen Klopp is a Christian. Not many people know that. They all talk about him being German, and that's the reason. Read what Jurgen Klopp says himself. He is an enormous Christian. He believes, like I do, that Jesus Christ probably walked on water. Well, that's not affecting him totally taking the Premiership by storm, is it? And take a look at the players he's got. Roberto Firmino, Christian, Sadio Mane, actually prays as he sits down before the game starts, Christian. And the other front one of the 3, Philip Coutinho, Christian. Daniel Sturridge, English Christian. I could go on. It's no secret that he's building well, it is a secret because the media don't like to cover the truth. But there you go. We're going to do something quite extraordinary with the show because it's going to build up and it's actually going to change the world. Yes, it is actually going to change the world. So we'll start off then. Let's have a look at how those horses do. 150, Gymnast. 1255, River Frost. 125, Top Notch. Let's hope it's Top Notch. Wherever you are, one day, if you follow me, you will never need to work again. Let's go with that. Let's feel the energy. Free show. Never have to pay. Never have to pay. I don't need to charge any money. Have a great day. Enjoy the service. I'll speak to you tomorrow with an update of how much distance the horses won by. Take care, wherever you are. Have a wonderful afternoon, evening, morning even, wherever you are. And I'll speak to you tomorrow with an update. Bye for now.